So does sex cancel out fasting? Can I have fasting and also have sex with my partner? My partner is demanding for sex, but it is that time of the year that our church is organizing or organizes fasting and prayers. 21 days, 30 days, 40 days, 50 days. And he is not taking it. And she is not taking it. She just wants sex. What should I do? Sex does not cancel out fasting. Neither does fasting cancel out sex. Perhaps you have not seen my video on sexual intimacy as couple, where I had a video with my husband asking him about what sex is. You just go to my card and check out for that video, sexual intimacy among couples. You hear what sex is. Sex is deeper than what you think it is. The only problem we have is what we have read on the social media, what we have watched over the televisions, what we have heard some people say about sex have polluted our mind, has disorganized our mindset about sex. Fasting in itself or on its own is stepping out of the usual to do the unusual. That is what fasting is all about. So fasting strengthens you, your spiritual life, and strengthens you physically also. That is also what sex does. So you can be fasting and you still have sex with your husband. It doesn't have any issue. You can be fasting and you have sex with your wife. It does not stop your fast. It doesn't make God not to answer that prayer, because that is what a lot of people say. It doesn't have anything. The prayers you do when you are not fasting are answered, right? Let's look at it that way. When you pray on a normal day without fast, it's been answered. You do your sex normally. So why do you place so much priority when you are fasting and you now say you're not going to have sex? Does it mean that it is only when you have fast and exclude yourself from sexual intimacy with your husband that prayers have been answered? You and I know that that is a capital no. It is not because you have abstained from sex, that is the reason your prayers have been answered. Neither is it also going to be because you got involved with your partner. I am talking about your husband, I'm talking about your wife in sexual intimacy. That is the reason your fasting will not be valid. It is not so. It has not been so, and it will never be so. So stop destroying your home. Stop it. That is not what the Bible said. The Bible didn't say that. Even while talking in that particular chapter, Paul mentioned that both of you should have agreement with knowledge, which means there are some things that your knowledge should help you to do. Yes, common knowledge, common sense should tell you that. Stop allowing not having sex when you are fasting cause problem in your home. It is wrong. It is very, very wrong. So, fasting does not cancel out sex, nor sex canceling out fasting. Knowing fully well that both of them works hand. I am sounding this. I am coming out like this because most times, January period like this, a lot of denominations go into what they call fasting and prayers. And this is the period of time a lot of issues happens in the marriage home, tearing homes apart. Are you saying that those pastors, those ministers, fix those fasting and prayers just to tear your homes apart? No. They too have balanced their homes. They also go into their sexual intimacy with their wives, with their husbands. They have a time to break. That's why you have a time to break. So do not let that affect your home. Not in January, not in February, not even any time of the month. And that's why I said earlier that when you do your normal fasting on ordinary time, because there are some time you decide to do what you call set apart. You want to have a alone time with God, and you decide to do fasting. Do you stop having intimacy with your partner? Those prayers, are they not answered? When you give an honest answer to these questions I've asked, you will come to agreement with what the Bible has said. So sex doesn't disvalue fasting. Neither does fasting disvalue sex. So both of them goes hand in hand. So it is a lot that is going on in so many homes at this particular period, almost every year, or sometimes quarterly, some other time, depending on what the program and the occasion is. Because this thing is vice versa. Sometimes it is the woman that wants it. Some other time it is the man that wants it. That is the husband and the wife. I'm breaking a table today because this is a very big issue as far as the marriage institution is concerned. And it is tearing a lot of homes apart just because of religious activities. And mind you, I have always said that religion is different from Christianity. Christianity is a way of life, whereas religion is practices. There are dogmas that you have to follow step by step, status quo, that are being put in place by man for you to put it in order or to follow it to get to God. Whereas Christianity is just living out the life of Christ. And so a lot of times Christians or church members misinterpret all of these things, thereby causing problems in our homes. In marriage, husband and wife belong to each other. My body belongs to my husband. My husband has rights over my body. My husband's body belongs to me. I have rights over his body. So when I am fasting and I am not in agreement with my husband and he wants sex, I go ahead. It doesn't stop my fast. Fasting has a particular period of time it ends. 6 to 6, 6 to 12, 6 to 9, 7 to 9. Whether it is a 21 days fasting, 50 days fasting, of course, there is no way you are going to fast from day 1 till day 50 without breaking it on a daily basis. The reason being that you have to refresh, you have to gather up more strength for you to continue the next day. So how does that affect your sexual intimacy with your husband? How does that affect your sexual intimacy with your wife? Why will you allow such a thing to bring a lot of strain in your home? By the way, fasting, a lot of time we tend to see it as abstinence from food and drink. No, fasting has to do with you not doing the usual thing, your usual routine. As soon as you decide not to do a particular thing you do for some time, you are fasting. So we define fasting most of the time to be, taking yourself out of food and drink for a period of time. And now some people include sex in it. Whatsoever it is that gives you pleasure, some people say you can also take yourself out and you say you are fasting. You eat jollof rice every now and then. Okay, you like to eat, so for some people that have food timetable in their homes, every Wednesday night, it is jollof rice. Whether the jollof rice is going to be prepared with fresh tomatoes or tin tomatoes, it is at their own discretion. And at a particular Wednesday, you get tired and you say, we're not going to eat this jollof rice. You decide to eat another thing. What are you doing? You are fasting. Because at that point in time, you have altered the usual and you go for another thing. So, in marriage, husband and wife belong to each other. I have to say that again. So sister, wife, because most of the time it is the women folk, it is the wives that fall into this. They carry religion on their head while tearing their homes apart. You have to stop that. As you are preparing to go into your 21 days, 30 days, 50 days, 100 days, whatsoever, make sure you are in agreement with your husband. And being in agreement, I know that there is no man, there is no woman that wants to stay for 50 days without having intimacy. You read that Bible portion. The Bible said that you agree for a certain period of time and come back so that you are not tempted. So stop using fasting to deprive yourself of your rights. Lifting or for a religious purpose, make sure your home world, your marriage is intact. Do not use your hand to tear it. Go back to those ministers, go back to those pastors who put up these things. Sex does not cause problem in their homes because they have learned to what? Balance it. I hope you are blessed, and I hope you have learned one or two, and your mind is being renewed that sex does not cancel out your fasting. And fasting is not only when you restrain yourself from eating food or drinking. You fast when you do the things, when you stop doing the things that you do on a normal basis. So, God bless you as your home is being blessed also, because